What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? How are you doing today? My name is Yasmin Shiraz. How are you doing? I am in here today talking about, oh my goodness, the World Cup is cooked. And why are we talking about that? Because there have been a couple of incidences over the last couple of weeks, and I wanted to talk about them because I did a video and excuse me, I post some clips and so forth on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and I've got some nasty responses. So let's get into it. The World Cup is the biggest global stage football, aka soccer, for us Americans has maximum visibility, maximum scrutiny. The tournament isn't just exposing the world's best players, it's exposing the worst instincts of the fans and the institutions around them. In this video, I'm going to explain how the World Cup is giving a lot of new soccer or football fans 6 reasons to say never mind. And you know I like a good theme, and the theme of this is what's done in the dark eventually comes to the light. And here's the thing. I want to enjoy football. I want to meet and see all of these international games being played. But global exposure doesn't create new behavior. It reveals behavior that was already there. I have 6 receipts back to back. We are going to see this pattern today. We are going to build the pattern today. So, receipt number 1. Mbappe and the Paraguayan senator. Senator Celeste Amaria's racist remarks after France eliminated Paraguay. Okay, it was some chimpanzee comparison, colonized Cameroonian comments. Okay, Paraguay's government and the Senate publicly condemned her, but the world watched it happen in real time. Now, what's so interesting to me is that, here someone's playing a game and you feel so comfortable making racist remarks so publicly. It's very interesting. And me as an American, I'm just like, wow, this is kind of shocking. This person is voted in. She's a senator or he's a senator, whoever the person is, they're a senator. And if someone raises this, especially if they're American or if they're a Black American, does it mean that they forfeit the right to speak on it because America has its own well-documented history of discrimination and racism? I'm asking that question because when I posted my video about what iShowSpeed went through, people were basically like, hey, America is a racist place. Like, what are you doing talking about that? But I'm talking about it because what's done in the dark comes to the light. And now on this global stage where everything is recorded and everybody can see what everybody is doing, we can see who everybody is. Let me give you receipt number 2. iShowSpeed had not one incident, but 2 incidents, 2 separate incidents during Argentina's matches. He gets racist taunts from the stands. These things are caught live on his own stream, right? FIFA opened an investigation, but it took a live stream catching it, not the system catching it first, right? Now, here's my personal thing, because I'm always going to ride for iShowSpeed because of what he does. And I want to explain this a little bit. Of all the people that fans could have negative feelings toward, right? iShowSpeed does not fit the profile. He literally travels the world spotlighting different cultures and experiences, broadening people's horizons. I cannot explain to you like how much I've learned from him regarding things that's going on in Africa, things that's going on in the football world. I learned so much from this guy, right? So when he's on the receiving end of racism, is that somehow his fault for being an American? Because, well, you guys come from a racist place. So therefore, if you go out and you support a football match and someone says something racist to you, what? You're supposed to be used to it because you're an American? That literally makes no sense. But what it does show is who these other people are. What is done in the dark is coming to light. Yes, it is publicly known about the racism and discrimination in America. But now, Argentina, we're learning about you also. Also, Paraguay, right? We're learning about you also. But here is the third receipt: to deflect and attack the messenger. Listen, I understand my role as a streamer, as a content creator. Everybody's not going to like my content. I get that 1000% and really don't even care, right? But when I see something, I want to talk about it because I want to create a national dialogue as well as an international dialogue. Let's figure out where we're coming from. But here's the thing. Instead of addressing the racism, the commenters on my videos are pivoting to America is racist too. Or Black Americans couldn't find Argentina on a map, right? So go ahead and insult my intelligence if you want, or you want to attempt to, or what have you. And again, you are reminding a person who's been in a system of oppression and has been oppressed. You're reminding them like, oh, America is racist too. Like, yeah, we know that already. Thank you for the reminder. But this is a classic pattern to redirect the conversation away from the incident and onto the person who raised it, right? Because I'm saying, man, why are the people over in Argentina, why are they tripping? And you're telling me I can't find Argentina on a map. And let me tell you completely so that you know, this is exactly what avoidance looks like when it's caught on camera. And here's the thing that I want all my international brethren and sistren to know about me personally. I'd never say America doesn't have its own history of discrimination and racism. Okay? I'd never say that. But if I see someone, American or not, being racially abused, I can speak up and I can say it's wrong. Because it is. And it's not wrong because I'm an American saying it. It's wrong because as human beings, we shouldn't be treating people like that. Period. There's one race, the human race. But again, what's done in the dark comes to the light. I fully believe these instances that we're seeing popping up, these people are doing this type of stuff in their daily life. It just happened to be caught on a stream. It just so happened to be caught on at the FIFA, at the World Cup, right? Because I don't believe you're so unlucky as to be caught the first time. Hence the thesis of this live stream today. What's done in the dark comes to the light. The fourth receipt, the investigation loop. And we hear about, prosecutors are investigating Amaria, FIFA investigating the speed incidents. Investigations get announced, right? Condemnations get issued, right? But where is the real accountability? Where are the bans, the suspensions, the actual consequences? That's the part that historically doesn't follow through, right? So we hear about a ban all the time. We hear about, we're investigating this, we're investigating. Where's the real consequences? The gap between we condemn this and we did something about it is bigger than the Grand Canyon. Okay. Because I guarantee you, after all of this, after whoever wins and it's over, are we going to hear about Amarillo? Are we going to hear about those fans who hurled their insults or their comments or whatever toward iShowSpeed? I doubt it. And that's what I'm talking about. So how are we changing something if we're not holding ourselves accountable, or we're not also holding anybody else accountable? Make it make sense, right? We hear about the investigations, but what do we really see as results? And I wanted to share this. A TikTok story claimed the fans who targeted iShowSpeed got banned for life. That was absolutely false. They were not banned. Those fans are probably in the stands right now at the next match insulting somebody else. But what's done in the dark, it comes to the light. The fifth receipt that I want to share today is the historical pattern. I guess, when I think about traveling globally or seeing people globally, I think, wow, we should have so much love and understanding and compassion for each other. But when I look at the football fans and how they're even treating the players and things like that, I get a big case of the ick. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all because it's disgusting and it's disappointing to me. And here's the thing. This isn't new. Players have been racially targeted for years and still expected to suit up and perform like nothing happened. How do I know some of the footballers that I would not know, the international people? Because I'm doing research on sports, or I'm following something on iShowSpeed and it's somebody he likes or something, and their name is coming up as being verbally assaulted, racially abused, or whatever. That's how I'm finding it, right? And these players are doing a job, right, that they're good at, or they wouldn't be on the team, and still racially targeted, right? And World Cup 2026, let's, zoom out for a minute. It isn't an anomaly. It is a highlight reel of a pattern that's always existed in the sport. And what's so crazy is the reactions from people is like almost, so what? It's, they're not saying so what explicitly, but they are definitely saying so what indirectly. Oh, this guy is playing for another team, the other team, he's being racially abused. So what? Oh, the senator is saying something, whatever, to someone who hasn't done anything to her. So what? Right? So that's crazy to me that we respect the people who are playing the game, so little. That's just shocking to me, right? And I've learned a lot about football, what we call as soccer, over the last couple of years. Like, I can't even be like, yeah, I've been following it for 10 years and all this. No, I cannot say that. And that's why I stand up for iShowSpeed, because I look at a lot of his stuff that he does and I'm learning through him and the stars that he's introduced me to. Obviously, I know about Cristiano Ronaldo. I know about Lionel Messi. I know about some of those guys, but some of the taunts and the racial abuse that some of these other players, whether they're from France or, they're from different countries in Africa, it has been crazy to me. Not so much that it's happened, but that we're okay with it. That the institutions are okay with it, that the ball clubs are not condemning people really, that there are no real punishments in place for treating people less than human. That to me in 2026 is shocking. I don't care. It has nothing to do with me being an American or someone else not being American. It is shocking to me that these people represent their countries or represent, whatever, and they're doing their job, and it's okay for them to be racially abused by the fans. That's shocking to me, you know? And as I've learned over the last couple of years, it's like, okay, the players can be treated and abused, and it's okay, to say nothing of the fans who may be being treated a certain way by others' fans, right? So this is not a crowning moment internationally, right? Like, if we're trying to expand the love of football internationally, and obviously I know everything's not about America, but it's kind of crazy that the fans, I remember seeing iShowSpeed at an event, and he was, and some people were throwing water at him. I can't remember what country he was in, and he ended up leaving the stadium. And I think for people, the people who do that must simply just, I don't know, the elevator maybe not going to the top. I don't know how to even explain it, but it's like you put yourself in that position, that you're standing somewhere, you're watching a game, you're doing whatever, and someone's throwing bottles at you. You know, imagine it's your kid. Your kid is standing somewhere and someone is throwing bottles at them for no other reason but the color of their skin. Wrap your brain around that for a moment. What's done in the dark comes to the light. And the fact that we are okay with it, because we are not standing up, we're not saying anything, we're not sanctioning anybody, is mind-blowing to me. It is 110% mind-blowing. Guys, as I get to the end of this, I'm going to see if you have anything in the chat so we can have a real conversation about this today. I simply want to understand, like, it feels like global hate to me. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like this compassion that we should have and this love that we should have for other people. It's like, it's a little crazy. And so, receipt 6. Why I called this this theme, what's done in the dark comes to the light, is because when I learned that the World Cup was coming to America, and I started following Speed and some of the different things that he was doing and talking about football and things like that. And I had watched, I want to say, a documentary on Lionel Messi and how he got started and all these different things. I just was sort of overjoyed with this other layer of like, okay, let me learn about, football, let me learn about it from this standpoint. And it's very exciting. I mean, the most sort of international footballer I knew of was really David Beckham, right? Like David Beckham was who, in recent memory, in recent history, and we know he's retired. But I looked at the World Cup as this opportunity for people to learn about other countries, right? To want to explore and support and rally around, right? So like, oh, I learn about Morocco and how they're doing. So maybe I'll go visit Morocco one day. I learn about Spain and now, gosh, I have a connection. I go and I visit Spain one day. This is the energy, right, that I'm thinking. But instead, when you see these sort of displays of, I feel like it's hatred on the world stage to me, it's a turnoff. It's certainly a lack of humanity. It's certainly that. It's certainly insulting. And I don't understand why it's okay. And here's the thing. No one can even justify what is being said or done. They just accept it. This senator makes a comment. Oh, okay. Like, what did that player do that warranted that response? Right? There were ever how many players are on the pitch or at the time or on the field at a time, right? So you guys lost to France. I get that. But are you calling names of all the people who played against you or just him? This is what I'm trying to understand, right? It doesn't even make sense, but we accept it because in our minds and in our hearts, we're really saying, well, so what? We can pretend and everything that it isn't happening. But to me, we're in a world where we're all under surveillance. Everything is being recorded. And so we see you when you throw the water at some innocent person who's just standing there. We see you take the towel. We see you act like a whatever animal that you're mocking. We hear you when you hurl the racial insults for no reason, right? Like, but I guess you know what the reason is. I find it mind blowing that there's so much of that in the world when someone hasn't done something to you. It's completely unprovoked and you're still okay with sending that type of energy out into the world. I find that shocking, but what are we learning? What's done in the dark comes to the light. The biggest statement I want to share before we get into questions or chat, the biggest sort of statement for me is, why are people so silent? Like, where's the outrage? And the deflection, like I said, people, when I put up my videos and I put up like my clips, people were like, well, America is racist. So, you need to deal with what's going on in the Black community. And I'm like, okay, so I can't talk about why this happened to one of my favorite streamers because I'm a member of the Black community. What? You feel what I'm saying? So why is it okay for people to attack you but not address the real problem, right? People just go on with business as usual. And it teaches us a lot, to me, about the culture of football internationally. And I think that's really what I'm trying to get to, is like FIFA, the fans, the whole thing, the responses, the accountability, the punishments or whatever. It's icky. It's icky at times, right? Because you're signing off on racial abuse to people, mistreatment at times to people, and you're okay with it. And I guess you're okay because it isn't you. I guess that's why you're okay. But here's a question, where are the biggest names in the sport and the ones with platform and influence to say something about these things? Where are they? And why aren't they saying anything? And so for all of you football fans out there internationally who, may look like me or, might be concerned that you would take your child to an event and they might be treated this way, are you rocking their jerseys? Are you rocking the jersey of the people who are silent and aren't saying anything? I'm interested in knowing that. And in America, since people like to bring up how racist and how much discrimination it is, let me give you a brief history lesson. Some of our greatest injustices were overcome or at least influenced by people who had platforms and stood up for what's right. In the civil rights movement, you had athletes, you had preachers, you had different people who said, hey, I'm going to, talk about this because I want to stand in solidarity with my community. You all may know about Muhammad Ali, and he, would not go to the Vietnam War. He famously said a Viet Cong never called him nigger. And he was basically saying the atrocities that happened were not brought on to him by people at Vietnam, right? So that's an example of someone using their platform. And in the civil rights movement, we had lots of people. Jim Brown, may he rest in peace. Muhammad Ali, as I said, may he rest in peace. We had different people. When Martin Luther King We were trying to pass a holiday for him to recognize all the things that he's done. Musician Stevie Wonder wrote a song, and that song became a protest rally to get this holiday pushed. So it's interesting to me that we have all of these fans and we have all of these successful people and in the football community, in the football space, and many of them are largely silent about the things that matter. And, I don't know like what a big statement they would have to make, but like, this isn't cool would be a start. You know what I mean? And I simply have not seen that kind of thing. So I don't know. I was expecting better. The exposure has not made me, want to watch more football. It just makes it so that, it's impossible to ignore the culture of what's going on globally. A person in my comments said to me, oh, well, you don't know anybody who's ever visited, Argentina. And so therefore you can't even comment about how these Argentinians have treated, thrown insults, whatever the case may be, because I don't know anyone who's been to Argentina. And it's true. I do not know. But what I do know is the research that I had done on Argentina and what people were saying who had been there, it wasn't positive. But instead of this person saying, well, hey, you know what? I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, or whatever. They come back with, you're black. You can't find a map. You don't know where, you don't know where Argentina is in a map. You don't know anybody who's traveled. And it doesn't solve the problem. So I'm going to open it up right now. If you guys have been watching the FIFA and all of that, the World Cup, let me know how you have been feeling. I'm going to go on here right now and see if there's anybody in the chat tonight. If you're hateful in the chat, we're going to have to block you because this is about a conversation about FIFA right now. So I'm going to come on. Yes, now that I have, yes. Oh my gosh. Sherry Swiss, thank you so much. Hey chat. Hey chat. I see you, Sherry Swiss. Sherry Swiss says, I love America, but I don't want the World Cup never comes back to it forever. So I don't know if you're saying you have been to America and have seen the World Cup here or visited. It's a lot. I mean, listen, all of that stuff, Sherry and anybody else listening, it is a lot. The World Cup is a lot. You have all these different cultures. You have all of these different, people. It's a melting pot of different types of people coming together. And I think that, I know for me, I guess I had this rose-colored glasses attitude about how people were going to be. I thought people were going to be a certain way based on, I don't know. I just thought, oh, they'll be kind. Oh, they'll be nice. Oh, they'll be this. And some of these football fans, they are absolutely nasty and out of their minds. They just are. And that has shocked me. But I guess what I'm learning is that culturally and globally, this is what you see. This is what you see. You see people who are mean and nasty and racist. This is what you see. And so it shouldn't shock me. It probably won't shock me further. But, for all the countries that, we don't hear about over in America a lot of the countries that, again, we don't, hey, maybe we haven't visited or whatever, we're not thinking like, wow, they're going to be anti-black. That's not something that we're automatically thinking. And so to have this experience and to witness it in real time and to see, one of my favorite streamers, it's disappointing. And again, we have problems in America. I'm not at all trying to say we don't have problems. We 100% have problems. But if we're all coming together to celebrate the World Cup, and we're all coming together to celebrate our teams and root for our countries or whatever, I'm shocked that this kind of behavior is okay. I'm shocked that, like, oh, okay, yeah, you go out, you're in a foreign country or you're wherever you are, and this is what you do. This is what you feel like you should do. And mind you, I mean, iShowSpeed, obviously he's uber successful. It's true. But not only that, he has this energy about him that he's trying to show so much love to so many people throughout the world. So it's like crazy that that's the energy that he puts out, and that's what he got back. And so that for me, and that people are so silent about it, that for me is like, wow, like we don't care enough to even comment. And so that's why I wanted to do this live today. And so I'm going to wrap up shortly. If you have any more comments please put your comments in the chat. This live was called "The World Cup is Cooked." And I had the other video that I want you guys to check out is the one here. I know it's a tough title, but iShowSpeed plus Argentina fans equals racism. And it just explores the history of whitening in Argentina, because I was just trying to figure out, how did he have two incidents with Argentina fans? And so I went ahead and I did the research, and people were like, you got this from Wikipedia, or you got this from wherever, whatever. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't address the actions of their fellow citizenry, their fellow countrymen. They didn't do that. And so I'm committed over at the Yasmin Breakdown to share with you guys, to share real commentary with you, to share the facts. Obviously, I'm going to give you some commentary as well, but to try to be fair. And I just didn't feel iShowSpeed was treated fairly. I didn't feel Mbappe was treated fairly. And I am sitting at the edge of my seat to try to understand what they're going to do moving forward for sanctions or bans or accountability. And I wouldn't be shocked if nothing at all happens. All right, you guys, if you like my content, join our family on Patreon. I am Patreon, Yasmin Shiraz. Join us. And if you like to check out our website, YasminBreakdown.com. Thank you so much for doing this live with me. My work week starts on Sundays, why I like to do a live on Sunday. So you guys have a wonderful day, rest of your day. Peace. See you next time.